You know, success leaves clues, but so does failure. And if we can identify the patterns, the mistakes that consistently hold people back, then we can do something about them. We can change, we can grow, we can become more than we are today. The first mistake, and perhaps the most devastating one, is living without a clear philosophy of life. You see, most people drift through life like a ship without a rudder, blown about by every wind of circumstance, tossed by every wave of emotion. They have no clear direction, no guiding principles, no fundamental beliefs about what life is all about and what they want from it. Your philosophy is the foundation of your life. It's what determines your decisions, your actions, and ultimately your results. If you don't have a clear philosophy, you'll be at the mercy of other people's philosophies. You'll live their dreams, follow their paths, and settle for their definition of success. Let me ask you a question. What do you believe about life? What do you believe about success? What do you believe about your potential? If you can't answer these questions clearly and decisively, then you're living without a philosophy. That's mistake number one. The tragedy is that most people spend more time planning their vacation than they do planning their life. They'll research for weeks to find the best hotel, the best restaurants, the best attractions, but they won't spend 5 minutes thinking about what they want their life to look like 5 years from now. Your philosophy shapes your thinking, and your thinking shapes your life. If your philosophy is weak, unclear, or borrowed from others without careful consideration, then your life will reflect that weakness and confusion. But if you develop a strong, clear, personal philosophy based on sound principles and values, your life will reflect that strength and clarity. This leads us naturally to the second mistake that's holding people back, and that's the lack of clear written goals. You see, philosophy without goals is just wishful thinking. Goals without philosophy are just empty ambitions. But when you combine a solid philosophy with clear written goals, you have the foundation for an extraordinary life. Most people are goal-oriented by accident rather than by design. They drift from one thing to another, hoping something good will happen, but never really taking charge of their destiny. They're like Alice in Wonderland when she came to the fork in the road and asked the Cheshire Cat which way she should go. The cat asked her where she wanted to end up, and when Alice said she didn't know, the cat replied, "Then it doesn't matter which way you go." That's exactly how most people live their lives. They don't know where they want to end up, so they wander aimlessly, hoping they'll stumble onto something good. But success doesn't work that way. Success is a planned event, not an accident. You must have clear written goals, not just wishes or dreams, but specific, measurable, achievable goals with deadlines. When you write down a goal, you crystallize your thinking. You take it from the realm of wishful thinking to the realm of possibility. You engage your subconscious mind, which then begins to work on your behalf, looking for opportunities, making connections, and guiding your actions toward the achievement of that goal. But here's what's crucial. Your goals must be your own. They can't be your parents' goals for you, or your spouse's goals for you, or society's goals for you. They must spring from your own desires, your own values, your own vision of what you want your life to become. The third mistake that holds people back is perhaps the most insidious, because it masquerades as wisdom. It's the mistake of seeking security over opportunity, of choosing the known over the unknown, of settling for less because it feels safer. Security is mostly a superstition. It doesn't exist in nature, and human beings never really experience it. The person who seeks security over opportunity will always wonder what might have been. They'll reach the end of their life with a heart full of regrets, thinking about the chances they didn't take, the dreams they didn't pursue, the life they didn't live. Now, I'm not suggesting you be reckless or foolhardy. I'm not advocating that you quit your job tomorrow without a plan or jump into ventures without proper preparation. What I'm saying is that calculated risk is the price of progress. You can't discover new oceans unless you're willing to lose sight of the shore. Every achievement in human history required someone to step beyond the boundaries of security and comfort. Every invention, every discovery, every advancement came because someone was willing to risk failure in pursuit of something better. The irony is that the person who plays it safe, who always chooses security over opportunity, actually becomes less secure over time. The world changes, industries evolve, and the person who hasn't grown, who hasn't developed new skills, who hasn't taken any risks finds themselves obsolete. On the other hand, the person who has learned to embrace opportunity, who has developed the confidence to take calculated risks, who has built their skills and expanded their comfort zone, becomes more secure, not less. They become antifragile, able to not just survive change, but to thrive because of it. This brings us to the fourth mistake, and it's one that destroys more dreams than perhaps any other. It's the mistake of living in the past or the future instead of making the most of the present moment. Some people are prisoners of their past. They're constantly looking backward, dwelling on their mistakes, their failures, their disappointments. They use their past as an excuse for their present circumstances, and they rob themselves of the power to create a better future. Yes, you should learn from your past, but you shouldn't live there. The past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. Your past doesn't determine your future unless you let it. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not your circumstances. You are your possibilities. Then there are others who live entirely in the future. They're always waiting for someday. Someday when they have enough money. Someday when they meet the right person. Someday when the timing is perfect. Someday when they feel ready. But someday is not a day of the week. And while they're waiting for someday, their real days are slipping away. The key is to find the balance. Learn from your past, plan for your future, but live in your present. This moment right now is the only moment you can actually do something about. This moment is where your power lies. This moment is where your life is being lived. Every day you postpone taking action toward your goals is a day you'll never get back. Every day you wait for perfect conditions is a day wasted, because perfect conditions never come. Good conditions come, great conditions come, but perfect conditions exist only in our imagination. The fifth mistake that holds people back is one that might surprise you. It's the mistake of trying to do it all alone, of believing that asking for help is a sign of weakness, of thinking that successful people are self-made. Let me tell you something, there's no such thing as a self-made person. Behind every successful person is a network of mentors, coaches, advisors, and supporters who help them along the way. The most successful people are also the most teachable people. They understand that learning never ends and that wisdom can come from anyone. Your ego might tell you that you should figure everything out yourself, that asking for help diminishes your accomplishments. But your ego is not your friend when it comes to success. Your ego will keep you small, keep you struggling, keep you making the same mistakes over and over again. The smartest thing you can do is to find mentors who have already achieved what you want to achieve. Learn from their successes and their failures, model their strategies and their thinking. Stand on the shoulders of giants that you can see further than you could on your own. But mentorship isn't just about finding someone to teach you. It's also about being willing to be taught. It's about being coachable, being open to feedback, being willing to change your approach when something isn't working. Many people sabotage their own success because they're not teachable. They think they already know everything they need to know, or they're too proud to admit they need help. They'd rather fail on their own than succeed with help. That's not strength, that's foolish pride. The sixth mistake is perhaps the most heartbreaking because it affects not just your success, but your character, your relationships, and your sense of self-worth. It's the mistake of not developing personal discipline, of giving in to the tyranny of the urgent rather than focusing on the important. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It's the engine that turns dreams into reality. Without discipline, you're at the mercy of your feelings, your moods, your circumstances. You do what you feel like doing rather than what you need to do, and feelings are a terrible basis for making important decisions. The disciplined person has learned to do what needs to be done whether they feel like it or not. They understand that motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. They know that success is not about grand gestures or dramatic moments, but about small, consistent actions taken over time. Most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year and underestimate what they can accomplish in a decade. They're looking for the quick fix, the magic bullet, the overnight transformation. But real success is built through the compound effect of small, disciplined actions repeated consistently over time. Think about it this way. If you read just 10 pages of a good book every day, In a year, you'll have read more than 3,600 pages. That's about 12 books. If you do that for 10 years, you'll have read 120 books. Can you imagine how much you'll know, how much you'll have grown, how much your life will have changed? But most people can't even discipline themselves to read 10 pages a day. They say they don't have time, but they have time to watch television, to scroll through social media, to complain about their circumstances. Discipline is really about priorities. It's about deciding what's truly important and then organizing your life around those priorities. It's about saying no to good things so you can say yes to great things. The seventh and final mistake that holds people back is the mistake of not taking full responsibility for your life and your results. This is perhaps the most fundamental mistake, because until you take responsibility, nothing else matters. Until you take responsibility, you remain a victim of your circumstances rather than the architect of your destiny. Taking responsibility means acknowledging that you are where you are because of the decisions you've made and the actions you've taken or failed to take. It means giving up the luxury of blame, the comfort of excuses, the protection of justification. Now, this doesn't mean that bad things haven't happened to you. It doesn't mean that you haven't faced unfair circumstances or encountered difficult people. Life is often unfair and bad things do happen to good people, but taking responsibility means recognizing that regardless of what has happened to you, you still have the power to choose your response. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control what happens in you. You can't always control your circumstances, but you can always control your choices. And your choices, more than your circumstances, determine your destiny. When you blame others for your problems, you give away your power. You make yourself dependent on others, changing before you can be successful or happy. But when you take responsibility, you reclaim your power. You recognize that the power to change your life lies within you. This doesn't happen overnight. Taking full responsibility is a process, a journey of personal growth and maturity. It requires courage because it's easier to blame others than to look in the mirror. It requires humility because it means admitting your mistakes and failures. It requires faith because it means believing in your ability to create a better future. But here's what's amazing about taking responsibility. The moment you do it, everything changes. Not your circumstances necessarily, but your relationship to your circumstances. You stop being a victim and start being a victor. You stop making excuses and start making progress. Now, let me tie all of this together for you, because these 7 mistakes aren't isolated issues. They're interconnected and they feed on each other. If you don't have a clear philosophy, you won't set meaningful goals. If you don't have clear goals, you'll choose security over opportunity. If you're always playing it safe, you'll never develop the confidence to take responsibility for your life. On the other hand, when you address these mistakes systematically, they work together to accelerate your progress. A clear philosophy guides you to set the right goals. Clear goals give you the courage to embrace opportunity. Embracing opportunity builds your confidence and discipline. And all of this together creates a foundation for taking full responsibility for your life. The question now is, what are you going to do with this information? You see, information without implementation is just entertainment. Knowledge without action is just potential. You can know all the right things to do and still live an unsuccessful life if you don't do them. I want you to understand something profound. You already have everything you need to begin changing your life right now. You don't need more time, more money, more education, or more opportunities. You need more wisdom in using what we have. Start with your philosophy. Take some time, maybe this weekend, to really think about what you believe about life, about success, about your potential. Write it down. Don't worry about making it perfect. Just start. Your philosophy will evolve as you grow, but you need something to build on. Then set some goals. Not someday goals, but specific goals with deadlines. Write them down. Make them real. Start with small goals if you need to, but make sure they're meaningful to you. Begin to embrace opportunity over security. Look for ways to stretch yourself, to grow, to expand your comfort zone. Take calculated risks. Do something that scares you a little but excites you a lot. Focus on the present moment while learning from your past and planning for your future. Today is the day to begin, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month. Today. Find mentors and coaches. Invest in your education. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to become better. Be teachable. Be coachable. Develop your discipline. Start small if you need to, but be consistent. Do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. Keep your promises to yourself. And most importantly, take responsibility. Stop blaming. Stop making excuses. Stop justifying your current situation. Look in the mirror and say, I am responsible for my life and I have the power to change it. You know, success is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's not about never making mistakes. It's about learning from your mistakes faster than your competition. It's not about having all the answers. It's about asking better questions. The person you become in the pursuit of your goals is more valuable than the goals themselves. The skills you develop, the discipline you build, the confidence you gain, the character you forge, these things will serve you for the rest of your life. And here's something else to remember. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. Greatness is not a destination, it's a direction. It's not about being perfect. It's about being better today than you were yesterday. Every master was once a beginner. Every expert was once a disaster. Every successful person was once a dreamer who decided to take action on their dreams. The only difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is that successful people do the things unsuccessful people are not willing to do. So what are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give up to get what you want? Success always requires trade-offs. You can't have everything, but you can have anything if you're willing to focus and pay the price. The price of success is discipline, dedication, and determination. The price of failure is also discipline, dedication, and determination. But it's discipline to all the wrong things. It's dedication to mediocrity and determination to make excuses. You're going to pay a price either way. You can pay the price of discipline or the price of regret. You can pay the price of progress or the price of staying where you are. The choice is yours, and the time to choose is now. Let me leave you with this thought. Your life is not determined by what happens to you, but by how you respond to what happens to you. You've been given an incredible gift, the gift of choice. You can choose your thoughts, your actions, your habits, your associations, and ultimately, your destiny. Don't let these 7 mistakes rob you of the life you deserve. You have too much potential, too much to offer, too much to accomplish to settle for anything less than your best life. The world needs what you have to offer. There are people whose lives will be better because you decided to become all you were meant to be. There are problems that need solving, dreams that need pursuing, contributions that need making. But it all starts with you taking responsibility for your life and making the decision to grow, to change, to become more than you are today. It starts with you refusing to let these mistakes hold you back any longer. Your future is in your hands. What you do with it is up to you. Choose wisely, act boldly, and never, ever give up on yourself or your dreams. The best is yet to come, but only if you make it so. Thank you for your attention, and remember, if you'll do for a few years what most people won't do, you'll be able to do for the rest of your life what most people can't do. Make it a great day, make it a great year, and make it a great life.